federal government has reportedly proposed a 40% salary increase for lecturers under the Academic Staff Union of Universities. The proposal comes as ASU leadership prepares to return to the negotiation table with the federal government delegation headed by Yayali Ahmed. The union's decision follows a consensus reached at the National Executive Council meeting held in Abuja, and branch leaders who attended the meeting are expected to communicate the developments to their members nationwide. Speaking at the end of the NEC meeting, a member who preferred anonymity said the union would continue discussions with the government. Meanwhile, the Nigeria Labour Congress, the umbrella body of labor unions in the country, has expressed support for ASU and vowed to advocate for the academic community if the government fails to meet its demands. The federal government says it is preparing to disclose the identities of individuals and networks funding terrorism in Nigeria. The special advisor to the president on policy communication, Daniel Bwala, who spoke during an interview, said the administration is taking far-reaching decisions on national security that will become evident to Nigerians soon. He noted that terrorism has evolved into a threat that extends beyond national borders and now requires international collaboration to curb its spread. Boala said extremist activities that once dominated parts of the Middle East have gradually shifted toward the Sahel region, creating new hubs of insecurity that demand stronger regional and global coordination. He added that the Tinubu administration is intensifying efforts to combat the threat at home and will soon expose those financing and enabling terror activities across the country. Meanwhile, amid rising killings, mass abductions, and growing security failures across Nigeria, several state houses of assembly have begun moves to consider the creation of state police, a long-debated reform that President Bola Tinubu last week urged the National Assembly to legalize as part of sweeping constitutional amendments. Nigeria has recently witnessed a resurgence of violent banditry and terrorist attacks, while kidnapping syndicates continue to overwhelm overstretched federal security agencies. With fewer than 400,000 federal police officers policing over 200 million Nigerians, many communities remain unprotected. A vacuum, experts say, fuels the worsening insecurity. He also called on the National Assembly to pass laws enabling states to establish state police where needed. The proposal is part of the ongoing constitutional review by the National Assembly, which Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kanu said will soon move to the 36 states assemblies. In a related development, Northwest political and traditional leaders have called for a new security architecture in the area. They made a call in Kaduna at the Northwest Zonal Security Summit, attended by federal lawmakers, top security chiefs, traditional rulers, and senior government officials, including the Minister of Defense, Badaru Abubakar. Kaduna State Governor Ubasani presented some of the most far-reaching proposals, calling for the establishment of a Northwest Theater Command of units to unify the Nigerian Army's 1st and 8th divisions. Renewing the call for state police, the governor said Nigeria's centralized policing system can no longer meet the needs of a nation of 230 million people, especially with fewer than 400,000 officers available to secure vast ungoverned spaces. The Minister of Defense, Abubakar Badaru, also present, reiterated President Bola Tinubu's commitment to a more adaptive national security architecture. In the meantime, Nigeria's worsening security crisis deepened as bandits launched coordinated attacks across the north, abducting monarchs, worshippers, a bride, students, and travelers in a 13-day wave of violence that has claimed at least 490 captives. The Senate warned that Nigeria must urgently strengthen community-based policing structures as security agencies struggle to contain the expanding assaults despite President Bola Tinubu's nationwide security emergency and ongoing military operations. From Sokoto to Kogi, Kwara, Niger, Borno, and the Federal Capital Territory, renewed raids have left rural communities traumatized, with residents fleeing their homes and several victims still unaccounted for. With escalating attacks across Sokoto, Kano, Kogi, and Kwara, the Senate renewed calls for a bottom-up security strategy integrating local actors into national operations. Meanwhile, the presidency has rejected former President Olusegun Obasanjo's suggestions that Nigeria should hand over internet security to foreign governments, describing such calls as capitulation. The Dangote Petroleum Refinery and other major depot operators have reduced the average gantry price of premium motor spirits (PMS) to 840 naira per liter. The price adjustment follows a decline in global crude oil prices as Brent crude, the benchmark for many international grades, fell to an average of $62 per barrel over the weekend, prompting downstream operators to revise their pump out prices. According to market data, Dangote Petroleum Refinery, IPEC, and NIPCO all reduced their depot prices to 840 naira per liter. Also, 8 OPEC countries that had previously announced additional voluntary production adjustments: Saudi Arabia, Russia, Iraq, UAE, Kuwait, Kazakhstan, Algeria, and Oman, met virtually on 30 November 2025 to review market conditions and the outlook for early 2026. And fast developing stories. Thanks so much for watching. Good morning.